Yes. Another one. January 8th, 1886. We had the coming of the return of the Moors. And we give the highest, most supreme honors to this man right here. Highest supreme honors. You don't care what anybody has to say. You don't care about or you think we're worshiping anything. Who cares? You think what you want. Honors to this man right here. We can't say enough about him, but we're going to try something today in honor of the greatness, in honor of the greatness that he dropped, telling us that we're Moors, telling us that we're Moors. This man, 1913, came telling us that we're Moors. 2014 now. 2015 now. The Gregorian got me. Let's do the honors, Moors. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe. Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. God is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, to his holy prophet, noble Drew Ali. Ashe, Islam, to all the Moors all over the place, coming home. Welcome, welcome, welcome. To all the Moors all over the place coming home. Welcome. It's our time right now. Canaanland Moors. So let's just give a little background. When Moors started saying that we don't have licenses and stuff like that, you know, we don't have this, we don't have that, that you're saying, Mr. Badge wearer, uniform guy, you're saying I need something. I don't need that. I have my own stuff. And we present our stuff, present our stuff. You know, Moors get on this. Moors risk their life and all this stuff, get kidnapped just because they're showing the identity that's not what these people are asking for. And trying to, you know, make it seem like we're doing something wrong. So they have these um, actions that are called racism and profiling by people in our community. And sometimes the people who are being accused expose stuff because of the activity of Moors right now, all over the place. That they can't punch Moors in a police computer and somebody not come up that said they're not this name. And then they have it in the system as AKA L Bay, whatever, right now. Right? So they know what's up. Now, out here, the so-called Negro black color community, African, whoever, Canadian, conscious, whatever group they call themselves, they all have this issue that they have to deal with. Nobody else complains out here. Nobody's complaining. Only these particular people are complaining, right? About um, so-called police carding, where they're building a database. They have a card, right? That if they stop a quote-unquote black youth or a youth or whatever like that, they can card them. And once they card them, it's an actual card. Like they don't want to see their card. They have a card that they're gonna use to get info from them and then put in their database or whatever, right? So, you know, there's Moors that are 18, 19 or whatever, 21, 22, who they heard about Moors and they're trying something on the spot because, heard about this stuff, been studying it, and, why not just do it or whatever. And getting out of stuff, talking with so-called, you know, police, getting out of stuff, not getting no carded or nothing like that, just getting out of situations, engaging these people. Just because their mindset is that they're not Negro, black, colored, they're more 18 or whatever, younger than that. Out here, I don't know anywhere else. Out here, there's Moors that are youths, right? And yes, there is that in other jurisdictions of Moors, obviously, right? But this thing is something that's been going on. This carding, these guys complaining, whatever, complain about this, complain about that. Also, keep in mind that in Canaanland, anytime so-called issues arise with Moors and the so-called corporate jurisdiction that does their little business near Toronto, Ontario, etc., that we call Canaanland. The so-called police chief gets put in the CC, right? Because he's the head hired by the mayor guy, who's the so-called head of the corporate jurisdiction. So he knows what's up about Moors and all that, right? So January 1st, um, Bill Blair, who also we might add, remember, so-called police chief, chief of police, Bill Blair, don't forget to check the International Association of the Chiefs of Police website. So you can go on there and see their own stuff from the international, not the national or local, domestic, municipal, the International Association of Chiefs of Police, who Bill Blair is on the board and stuff like that. So, so when people want to diss Noble Drew Ali, right? Say that, whatever, that's not nothing or whatever, right? Forget him, those guys worship, whatever. Moors, Moors who study already know this. Everything we do is for new Moors coming in because right now it's crazy how people are waking up around here. So, Moors know where to get their info. Who study, they got their stuff locked. Everybody else is new people coming in, heard something, seen something in a movie, seen something in a book, seen whatever relative to the Moors, and they're just doing research. So, this is what we're going over. Certain things that might seem repetitive to Moors that's been studying, but we already know. So he orders the suspension of this carding thing. All of a sudden, January 1st, no announcement of it, nothing like that. All of a sudden, he comes out January 1st. Okay, we're gonna put a pause on the carding thing, and we're not gonna do no carding right now until we have a board meeting. Which only happens with corporations, but it's a government though, right? So the government have a meeting with the chief of police or whatever, right? And oh yeah, and that's going to be in February, right? That's going to be in February. In February, they're going to be dealing with the carding thing. Okay, remember, in February, out here, the so-called chief of police is going to be meeting with the board to finalize this carding issue that he all of a sudden orders suspension of, right? Right. Now, what's what real and this is also the free paper sitting there that you just pick up. You know, paying for anything. Just paper just sitting there, free paper, just piles and piles. Just go pick up paper. Then on the other side of it, they have their promo, Book of Negroes, right? Talking about African that went in slavery and then went back to Africa. But why are these people still here then? If you guys gonna wreck this show, why you guys go back to where the hell you say that you come from? Lady said that she came here as a slave and she wants to leave. She doesn't want to be here. She wants to go to her ancestors, all this stuff. Go be with her family and all whatever. Right? So she did whatever, went back to Africa. What are you people still doing here? Well, you're watching show in America talking about your slaves of Africa. Then go back there then. Because if you don't want to recognize Noble Drew Ali, you told that you're Moors, but you're going to wreck some Book of Negroes crap, right? Capitalize the N, right? When this is a damn crayon, you capitalize Negro on a crayon? This black. Ask the Spanish if they capitalize the N on a Negro with a crayon. They're talking about colors. So the opposite side of the carding article is putting these people right back. They take away the carding, right? But they put it right back in slavery because all of them are going to be watching this. Trust me, I know we're out here, and conscious people are going to be on Book of Negroes. Oh, because remember, they got the book too, right? They got the Book of Negroes to prove that they came over here on a slave ship, because they don't want to recognize that they got profit that came. So we're going to put the profit out there so people can know all the stuff that he dropped, all the stuff that people who we know, we shook hands with them, we talk with them on the phone, but we dealt with these people, right? And we're going to put all their stuff out there so that everybody could see and recognize that there is this individual called Noble Drew Ali, and then people also back his position and what he said. Matter of fact, they don't even have anything to do with this, and they back this to the point that they'll want to be part of this and make up some fake stuff and just put Noble Drew Ali in the front and say, yo, we honor him and all his principles and whatever. Just because that's how tight his stuff is that he brought. Other people are on this. But these guys want their Book of Negroes crap. Dissing the prophet. So don't worry. You guys gonna get prophet all goddamn night. 2 hours of prophet. I want y'all the complainers complaining. The video's too long. Don't worry. Prophet tonight. So we'll start up with the Moorish jewels just to show you how you're supposed to, if you say, I'm with Noble Drew Ali or whatever, right? I'm for the prophet, etc. Okay? You're going to have something to show that you back him. Whatever it is. It might be this form, it might be CD form, it might be restaurant, whatever. You know what I mean? You go to Mr. Chin, he has his Buddha in the back, on the back shelf, whatever, behind him. You go to Hindustani guy, he has a little bowl with Ganesha, right? And Ganesha is there holding the bowl and all that stuff, and people just put change in there, right? Everybody recognizes their stuff, and we have to recognize our stuff. 100 years ago, and he's still being talked about. Must be something. There must be something about this. He's still being talked about. 100 years, still being talked about. So what this Moor did, right? He has a book, just a little book, nothing crazy. Okay, nothing crazy. 40 pages. Just some more out there. Yeah, I got this information. I don't write a book. I just wrote a book, right? And in this book, he has a chapter called Moorish Documents, Letters, and Statements. And the more, now remember, this is his book talking about, Moorish jewels, Emerald Edition, right? This is the black and white student edition. I suppose that there's a color edition for people who want to, get the good version. You know what I mean? He put a section in his book dedicated to Noble Drew Ali only. Like, here's all the stuff Noble Drew Ali said that you might need to just, read. No. That's what Moors, old Moors, is supposed to be in the back and all that type of stuff, out the car by now. That's what those Moors were supposed to do back then, that they didn't do. Why? It's 2015, we're just finding out about Noble Drew Ali right now. And we know about all these other people. And we never heard about this individual. And then when his stuff is presented to us, we really doubt that. But you pick up W.B. Du Bois stuff, read that, oh yeah, we'll go with this. Whoever said, oh yeah, we'll go with this, or whatever, go with that. Noble Drew Ali, oh, well, I don't know. He got a fez on. Is he Turkish? Well, I'm not Muslim. And then everybody's doubting stuff when it's time for Noble Drew Ali. Don't you realize that somebody put a hex on you not to gravitate to that? That's the only reason why you're questioning, hey, is he really a prophet? How come you don't question Muhammad and Jesus, but you don't question none of them? You just go buy their stuff. You do your yoga and all that stuff. Stretch, make sure pineal gland, you know what I mean? Line up the chakras and all this type of stuff. But you're not going to honor Noble Drew Ali, who's bringing the same stuff that they brought in different form, and he gets no play. So just hit up some stuff here just so that we can get his message out there. Since so much dirty bastards took this, did nothing with it, why people are now coming into this now. We've been supposed to be on this. Noble Drew Ali, savior of humanity. In this electrifying age, men are racing into this life without complete knowledge of where they are going or what the end will be. When riches seem to be their only pursuit to be obtained any way and at any cost. When selfishness, avarice, greed, and lust dominate their very being. When humanity in general is left at the mercy of those who have no mercy in them. It is truly wonderful and astounding to see one come into this mad human drama for the sole purpose of saving humanity, losing all sight on those things worldly and yielding absolutely to a cause higher than has ever been attained. This picture is the likeness of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is serving humanity, coming as he does, with a message for the nations, in somewhat the same manner as did Jesus, who they say that they rep, Muhammad, who they say that they rep, Buddha, who they say that they rep, Confucius, who they say that they rep, and other prophets of their day. So he brought the same thing that all these other people brought, that they rep, that they back, that they're not going to go curse somebody out because they say that's their prophet and, question, what I mean? Well, how come he wears whatever? Not questioning nothing. You just accept the fact that okay, well, we're Moorish Americans, we have a prophet. His name is Noble Drew Ali. So that's what it is. I ain't bring up nobody else. The Moors, what do you mean? Spain? Nobody never mentioned Spain or nothing like that. We're talking about Spain right now. We're in America. Like, we're not talking about Spain. We're not talking about, what do you mean slave? We're not talking about Slavic people. We're talking about Asiatics. It's the time right now. It's the time right now where the more you keep not backing the prophet, the problem's only getting worse. Huh? Trust that. Problem's only getting worse. Then came. Nobody want them except active, faithful, trustworthy mortals. And everybody else, they just suffer just because, you know. And then get mad because it's looking like we're watching them suffer and not do anything. No, like, gotta get this. Dave Chappelle came in, Robin Hood told you that you're a Moor. The turban and everything. What more you want? What more you want? You back him? Said that he's a Moor, you're not going with it. All these famous actor guys doing stuff. All these rapper guys mention Noble Drew Ali in songs and all this type of stuff, and everybody's, they're not on it. Coming as he does with a message for the nations. Well, coming as he does with a message for the nations. There's no Drew Ali talking about. So he's saying that he's coming with a message for the nations, and people are going to try convince you that more Science Temple makes you more. And well, I don't want to be a Moor because I don't want to be part of Moor Science Temple. Well, who said you have to be part of Moor Science Temple to be a Moor? Well, that guy, because I was watching his that's their problem. You know, you're not listening to Noble Drew Ali. You go get in this book right here, Moorish Jewels, that you can get on khalifamedia.com. You can get this accessible. So you can have Noble Drew Ali stuff yourself. You have to go to no temple or anything. Now, don't get me wrong. We have a Moor Science Temple. You know what I mean? We have membership, right? You know, we have a flag there. But don't get that caught up with, we're not civic minded. All we do is just, meet him, go to the temple, no withdrawal, and then that's it. No, like, we're Moors. And Noble Ali told the Moors that he's coming with a message for the nations. This is not even anything deep in the lessons. This is basic stuff that you're supposed to get at the door first day you go there. Then people talk about waiting for weeks and months or whatever to get a Quran from a temple. What? What? You're supposed to get that at the door. That's supposed to be in boxes piled up in the back that they'll never run out of those. That's what Moorish Science Temple is. Moorish literature, Moorish Guide newspaper stacked up to the ceiling. So we never run out of that stuff. Why? Because that's what Drew Ali brought. What do you guys want? Bring your own stuff around here. Saying Drew Ali brought that. When he laid out things directly for the Moors. And don't forget, Noble Drew Ali himself said, everything he says is spirit, Moors better heed. Well, spirit is in tune with divine. Okay, so if spirit and divine are in tune, then all these divine laws Noble Drew Ali said that he was coming with, that people try to say, with the Arab chambers, the ones who have it, and then we're going to give it to you when you're, whatever. The divine laws is everything that he said. Anything Noble Drew Ali said is divine laws. Yeah, well, the Moor said that the temple is the. Why keep bringing up temples? Noble Drew Ali's talking about nations. Noble Drew Ali's talking about nations. It's kind of, interestingly, Marcus Garvey was talking about nations, and Elijah Muhammad is talking about nations, and all these individuals who we rep talk about nations. But then people are going to stay in that stuff without a nationality. Or you talking about nations and you don't have a nationality. And then want to be respected by the rest of the world. And when they don't respect you, you just lie down wherever. You just say, oh yeah, 2 o'clock dying. You just lie on the ground for 5 hours, however long you just lie on the ground. When you have a prophet that took away all that madness, destroyed all that madness, don't want him. When he laid everything down, real basic and simple. And again, Moors who are active and study know that it ain't about only what Noble Drew Ali said, obviously. Because there's wealth of information on the Moors that we just have to have if we say that we're Moors. We got time for nothing else. Why are you talking about other stuff? What we got time for other than finding out that we're Moors when we find out that we're Moors? Because, according to us, mental slavery and whatever. So now that we're here now, and that we're Moors, we're gonna still go do Negro stuff as Moors, and then get shot up and stabbed up or whatever like that, and want to know how come stuff happening when you can't mix up the Negro stuff and the Moors. That's why they said they're gonna stop the carding because they can't mix. They can't come out in the open and say it's because of the Moors. It's because the Moors telling these people about jurisdiction and status, and they're challenging every single one of our so-called highwaymen that we sent out there, that we can't even collect the data anymore because their whole thing is corralling. Because the people are classifying themselves as Negroes. They're gonna go watch the show. They got the book talking about that's the best book ever or whatever on the history of black people. They're giving award and prize or whatever for a book of Negroes. Who are really Africans? But remember, they're not Africans. They actually come from somewhere, like a jurisdiction over there. They're not just generally Africans. And we're not just generally Moors. We're Moorish Americans because we're Moors in America. And all these things, clearing up every single thing that we had an issue with in order for us not to get respect, honor, blah, blah, blah. Drop the ball. All these individuals that we say that we rep, all of them. And on top of that, none of them ever mentioned Noble Drew Ali to you. Not one of them ever mentioned Noble Drew Ali to you. With some conviction. They just mention it if they do, passing by. That was the other one. Islam to the Moor who dropped the one on Savior's Day. This is the real Savior's Day. Forget those guys crap that they're doing talk about Savior's Day. Today is the real Savior's Day. The real Savior's Day is today. They put him on the banner. So you know that today's the real Savior's Day. Don't think Farrakhan's not doing some Noble Drew Ali rituals today. Know that Farrakhan is doing some Noble Drew Ali rituals today. Know that. Coming as he does, with a message for the nations in somewhat the same manner as did Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, and other prophets of their day. Only the things of this prophet's day differ from the ills of the days of the past, and yet the remedy for the ills of today is about the same as the remedies for the days past. And turning about the pivot, love for humanity. Love for humanity. This one individual, that's from a succession of individuals that had same concepts, same higher forces, sent them here to talk to a certain group of people who didn't get it. And once they listen to this guy, then they'll get it, and they could start being in full life again. Which, if you don't know, that's a law term. Make sure you go look that up in your Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, 3rd edition, 2nd edition, 1st edition. It might not be in 5th edition, so don't look. 4th edition, for sure. In full life. Law term. And then that's connected to status, which gets you out the jurisdiction of being classified as whatever they decide to make up to say you're that. Anything, whatever. Anything that they say. In anybody dealing with the situation. Because Moors deal with it all the time. They're just talking to people, just talking about black stuff all the time. And we tell them, yo, that's, this is a lesson to school somebody. And we put it on them. And it's up to them whether they want to accept it, go do some research, or keep up with the crap. And most of the time, they'll keep up with the crap. So don't forget, they're going to go get the Negro book. But they're not going to go read the Black Codes, which is the Negro book. Oh yeah, speaking about Black Codes, we'll just put a pause on Noble Drew Ali for 1 second. Just so we can, since we're talking about the Book of Negroes, how about the Virginia Slave Code of 1705 to deal with the Negroes. Who say that they got a book or whatever, right? That somebody wrote and their names written down in whatever, documented that yeah they are from Africa or whatever. Crap, right? Virginia Slave Code 1705, and also be it enacted by the authority aforesaid, and it is hereby enacted that all servants imported and brought into this country by sea or land who were not Christians in their native country, except Turks and Moors, in amity with Her Majesty and others that can make due proof of their being free in England or any other Christian country before they were shipped in order to transportation hither, shall be accounted and be slaves, and as such be here bought and sold, notwithstanding a conversation to Christianity afterwards. So if you're not a Turk or a Moor around here, you're a slave. That's some European, you know, who are governing the so-called Negroes who have a book. They're gonna go watch the show every episode. Go, oh, then don't forget the DVD's gonna come out. They're gonna go get that because they need a record, of the Book of Negroes. BS. Humanity must be lifted from the unwholesome depths of poverty, misery, and suffering, and placed on the solid rock of salvation. Unwholesome depths. Unwholesome depths. That's where Noble Drew Ali found us in 1913. He found us like that. Depths in unwholesome depths of poverty. So one jurisdiction of unwholesome depths. Poverty. Misery. Another jurisdiction. But our people, they're so conscious, but they have slave masters, everything on them. In his name. And if it's not his name, they're going to go check the book of Negroes or go to him and get him to do a DNA test for them to prove that, they're whoever they say they are. Which, of course, obviously he's going to go with because that's his slave. And he knows that that slave, where they say they're conscious or whatever, that's foolishness. They're conscious nothing. Dead people. Conscious people or unconscious people. There's conscious Moors, unconscious Moors. Because, Moor is any dark-skinned person, especially African Negro. Oh yeah, Negro book, Book of Negroes. Well, Blackamoor is any dark-skinned person, especially an African Negro. But they're going to go with that book being whatever and diss the prophet. Who told them that they're Moors? Just like definition of Blackamoor says Negroes. Just like Virginia Codes said, hey, if you're not a Moor or a Turk, you're a slave. It's real simple. No, yeah, I know you got dashikis, shea butter, yeah, I know, yeah. Oh yeah, you went to Africa. Oh yeah, you saw some stuff there, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. How come your rights not reserved on that passport you got right there? You're so conscious. How come the license you got, you just signed that? You didn't reserve your rights? Oh, you don't know what that means? Oh, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Oh, you don't know what that means? Well, you're conscious though. Oh, you got all these bookstores all over the place and none of them have dictionaries in them. All these conscious bookstores. Yeah, we got books on this, books on that, books on this, books on the Negroes, books on the African, whatever, Ebola, whatever, everything. Books on everything. And there are no dictionaries in there. Especially etymology dictionary, since everything that you're in there reading is in English. So you should know the language that you're speaking. No, it didn't come from Europeans. Don't even go there. Right? And lifted out of these unwholesome depths. Not left there marinate, lifted out and placed on the solid rock of salvation. So that means everything's done now. You're out the stuff. Now you're supposed to go do something. You're not going to jump back into stuff after the prophet pulled you out. You're going to jump back into stuff willingly and then get mad when nobody wants to help you get out the stuff. Well, you're jumping back into stuff. And Drawley laid it down. Real clear, real simple. And we're not even done yet. We're just one thing. We are the first book. We didn't even get to all these other books right here yet. But don't worry, Drawley Day, so he's running it today, so we don't know what's going to happen. We'll see how it goes. Humanity must be lifted, must be lifted from the unwholesome depths of poverty, misery, and suffering and placed on the solid rock of salvation. There are some who claim to do this, but upon investigation, one finds that they have slouched under the wings of their cross to extract from those who come to them means by which they can have the pleasures of this life, while they point their followers to the joy after death. Really laying it all down on these people, huh? About all these punks out here. Said that they're for their people, but telling them they're black people, they're Africans, they're whatever, calling them all this stuff, never call them Moors. Not all of them, you know what I mean? Some of them stuck to the program. Most of them sold your ass out. All the people we say we honor, sold out to go give Book of Negroes some prize, novel prize from some Europeans. And then talk about conscious people or whatever. And every rapper now is conscious all of a sudden. Now every rapper is just conscious. You're not playing around with people. Find me Moors. No, not on this side. Out there. There's a couple. Majority of these people want to be Negro. So they're going to get what they get. Drawley cleared it all up. While they feed their sheep, they also share them while eating. So they get paid twice. Right? Letting you know in 1913 that these guys are going to come, that they're going to be getting paid from the slave master, whoever, colonizer guy. They're going to be getting stuff from him, and they're going to be raping the people, telling them $1,000 for papers, $145 do a class. One class, $145. One class. Moors in temples. $145 a class. And people are paying today. $145 a class. A Moorish Science Temple. That's why, oh yeah, Islam to Grand Chief Nature, who's going to be doing our lecture, our Skype lecture, this Saturday for Noble Dwali Day celebration. He's the one that put it plainly. Not every place that has a sign that said Moorish Science Temple is a Moorish Science Temple. So don't be fooled by these jokers out here saying that they back Noble Drew Ali because they put his picture up. They could quote the parrot some stuff from Noble Drew Ali. But they tell people $145 for a class. $145. Moors doing that to unconscious Moors. You want to know why? Oh, I don't know unity amongst. No, there's unity amongst active Moors. Remember, this is Rami Salam El's book. He's not nowhere near here. But I have this book, and I'm using this book as a reference because of unity. Because there's unity amongst the Moors. We got a Quran that has a holy covenant in it. Tells us that there's unity. So we don't doubt the prophet. Right? Can't doubt. At the close of their day, the master will be heard to tell them, you have your reward, get thee hence. Rare is it that you find a real prophet whose mission is the salvation of the nations. Everybody. If you say that you're Muslim, no withdrawals for you. Yeah, I know you, Muhammad. Yeah, yeah, I know. I know Muhammad. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. Sunni Shia. Yeah, the split of the. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they killed. Yeah, yeah. I know. But guess what? Muhammad came again as Noble Drew Ali, Muslim. Just so you know. Muhammad's still here, but he's in the form of Noble Drew Ali now. But his name is Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, I know. But he's also Muhammad. Oh yeah, but this guy. Yeah, Buddha is Noble Drew Ali right now. You didn't know. I know nobody told you because all the Buddhist guys, those guys sold out or whatever, right? And they become the organization of the Taoists, whatever now. And, you know what I mean? Everybody's going around doing lectures on the Tao, selling birthright. Same thing that Drew Ali's talking about. At the close of their day, Master will be heard to tell them, "You have your reward. I gave you your little crumbs of higher science that I'm never gonna give you. Get the hell out of here and don't forget to leave something in the plate. Thanks." You know, sellouts. Rare is it that you find a real prophet, whose mission is the salvation of the nations. The land is full of false prophets. The land is full of false prophets whose mission is to fleece the people. And that's all they're going to be doing all the time, all day. That's all they do. Unfortunately, some of those people dress up like Moors. You know, they parade like Moors, but they're not, what they appear to be. So that's why tell Moors, be careful and make sure you go to a reputable source to get your information about who you are. Because you can't trust all these sources that say Moorish Science Temple or Moorish Holy whatever or Moorish this, Moorish that. You can't trust all those sources. I mean, some of those are the dirtiest people around here. And remember, you have a prophet, so you don't have to go to them. You shouldn't really be going to anybody for anything other than, yeah, you say you're a Moor? Yeah. What is it that, this is about? Well, temples and what? This is about you have a prophet by the name of Noble Jwali. Here's the literature that he whatever. Here's the da da. Here's that. You got meetings on whatever day. If you want to come, whatever. There's the stuff. All right. Because we're not gonna stand here and talk about the immensity of Noble Jwali on a corner and talk about you. Like that's not what this is. This is deep. This is deep. So deep. This is deeper than people even fathom how deep this is. This is deep where there's realms of this that you can't even do a class on. Can't even do it. Just because. That's just how deep it is. You can't do a class on it. Many false prophets. Many false prophets. But there's one real prophet. And been telling people. You know what I mean? Because it was only 2 or 3 people, you never heard nothing. When it was supposed to be all these people who claim to be whatever to us. They claim to be the leader of whatever, something like that. They should have a picture of Noble Jwali in their office of whatever they say that they're for the liberation of our people. Because, they say that they're nations and all that. Especially over here in North, South, Central America, especially over here, especially North America. All these Negro book people should have Circle 7 Quran at their house too, with the Negro book. But many people don't. Many. The time was and now, the time was and now is that there should come into the land a prophet in the likeness of his brothers. to redeem them from sin and slavery. Truly this prophet, Noble Drew Ali, is the man, bringing with him the message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, which alone can save the nations. Like the coming of Jesus, like the coming of Jesus. He does not come from the elect, nor the rich, nor the mighty in worldly power, but all power is given to him to do good. This power is from Allah. It will be his works that will make men of every nation accept the truth that he brings. It will be through his teachings that the nations of the earth will understand the will of the Master. It will be through him that peace on earth and goodwill to all men shall come. It will be through his work that humanity will be brought from the slime of life and placed on the solid rock of salvation. Right? Savior of humanity. You just even probably online too. That you can just go check. The height of this fact, the height of this fact that we are not Negro, black, colored people is being suppressed mainly by the people themselves, because it's only Negro, black, colored, African conscious coons that don't get this. Everybody in the world gets this. Everybody in the world is very specific when they engage or more how they deal with themselves. Moors know this. Moors know that people straighten the hell up when Moors come around. They don't slouching and stuff like that when Moors come around. When Moors come around, their whole demeanor changes when Moors come around. Moors know this. Moors who are active know this. Moors telling me today that hit up a Negro hard, had the Negro twitching, don't even know what to do because he was just, can't believe that he's seen no more. Like, had to ask him, like, yo, you a Moor? And he said yes, and Negro lost it. You know what I mean? And you know, he was, reputable Negro because he was a serviceman. He was in the military. So, you know, he has a certain, especially if he's been around, you know what I mean, not just in North America. If he's been around, did some tours, he's seen stuff. He can't talk about to anybody because nobody's gonna get it. And he finally saw somebody who would get it. You know what I mean? So the second spot we're gonna hit up, just gotta put this one out there too, because this one's a long one, a long time coming. Um, Holy Moorish Emporium, holymoorishemporium.org. Grand Sheik Messiah and Grand Sheik is Crystal. And this is their one that they just dropped. Who are the Moors? So just go check that out. This is hot off the press. This is new. So there's a new energy. Yeah, even though Grand Sheik Messiah been doing work, right? The works, keep coming. Because that's how Moors do. right? Page 64. Actually, no. Oh, my bad. Page 26. Are the Moors a cult? Are the Moors a cult? A cult. The Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali came to us Asiatics and gave us the keys of civilization, which have been kept and preserved in secret societies, cults. one, one must not be afraid when they hear or see such a word as cult or occult. This simply means to hide. Our people have been tainted with a Hollywood paradigm. Must realize that cult and occult is not devil worship. It is merely all of the ancient holistic practices of our forefathers, which have been passed down to our modern day secret societies who have been custodians of this knowledge. Now, just to touch on that as well, they're going to say whatever about, secret societies, Freemasons, whatever, right? They're going to have a perspective. But consider some of the key parties. Consider some of the key parties that are involved in this so-called founding of these secret societies of Europeans, right? Um, Taking ancient knowledge underground and keeping it away from even their own, right? Um, Grand Master of the Knights Templar, Jacques de Molay, who got burned at the stake, right? European, right? Burned at the stake because he was studying more science, right? Founder of the Knights Templar, Grand Master, of the Knights Templar, right? So he gets burned at the stake, okay? He gets burned at the stake. And in him getting burned at the stake, it's because he, which is, secret society, was studying more science and gets burned at the stake. He's one of them. Why they burn him at the stake? If he's one of them. Because there were these people, when they took this stuff underground, that were resurrecting this information. And those people are a threat. Today, they call them Alex Jones, David Icke, whoever, but they're not gonna martyr them because they're not dealing with moral science. They're just conspiracy theorists, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, they might do like, Freeway Ricky, whatever, the black conspiracy. It's conspiracy stuff. We're not talking about conspiracy, right? Just like, this is not a cult. Not so when your secret society is mentioned from Moors, know that we're talking about what you don't even know what you're talking about because even Claire Claire Huxtable came out and said Illuminati's trying to take up Bill Cosby. Claire Huxtable came out and said Illuminati's trying to kill Bill Cosby because they don't want black man on TV because he was teaching how Americans live. Americans, not black people, not teaching how black people, not the black people life, not the Negro life, the colored life, But what they're gonna call that? They're gonna call that the black show. There's no black show. Remember, there was no slavery in the North, like how they talk about the South or whatever. Don't forget, Moors were balling out here. Moors had their own land, and Moors were doing stuff in the North. Moors been here. This is not, you know what I mean, ghettos, all these old buildings that they, remodel. All these paved streets been out here. It's not modern. They're just fix it proof till we get back on what we're supposed to be on, which is claiming back all this stuff. You know what I mean? For yeah, once again, Islam to Brother Dolo, just for putting out their stuff as a more, not on some, Dr. York crap, pretending that this is some black Asiatic, Mason stuff. Come join ancient Egyptian, whatever. When it's just masonry. No secret. We're playing games with people's birthright. They just give them their birthright. Islam to that more because he's always talking about birthrights and, you know what I mean, dealing with these monkeys. These Masonic monkeys. It is merely all of the ancient holistic practices of our forefathers which have been passed down to our modern day secret societies who have been custodians of this knowledge. The Roman Catholic Church outlawed this knowledge, causing the preservers of it to practice in secrecy. From this is where you get cults. It was the church who called the ancient sciences of our forefathers satanic and evil, in order that they themselves may use these sciences to rule those who are in the dark. The occult science is Moorish science and not Satanism. The Moors and the Moorish Science Temple of America, however, are not occult. Moor comes from Moabite and also denotes one who is from Morocco. We must not confuse the modern kingdom of Morocco with the ancient Moroccan Empire. So-called blacks are from the ancient Moroccan Empire, which is northeast and southwest Africa, all the way across the great Atlantic Ocean to the present North, South, and Central America and adjoining islands. The landmass commonly referred to as America is actually Morocco, Al-Morocco. One who is indigenous to Morocco, America, is a Moor. It is not belief systems that constitute what a Moor is. It is your pedigree. It is not belief systems that constitute what a Moor is. It is your pedigree. The Moors are the founders of all civilizations on earth. One may say, I am not a Moor, I am a Christian. If you accept the teachings of Christianity, it does not change your pedigree. All the Christians out there, all the Moriscos who want to be Negro black colored, just be Moriscos. But, you're not going to be under the rule of Ferdinand and Isabella. And the popes of Rome. You're going to be under the jurisdiction of the Moor as a Morisco, which is a different status than the Morisco status of you being under some Europeans ruling over you. So you can come back home, Christians. We got Quran. It says Jesus in it, So you feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Don't get teased by Allah. Allah is all law, all universal law. You know already, gravity. You're not going to walk off a building. So, you know about universal law. Right? You already know. So you can trust that that's God. You know that's God. All right. So if that's God, then you could be a Morisco. Proclaim your nationality, Christian people. All you Christian guys out there, black Christian guys. You're actually Moriscos. You want to play. You want to be a nation? All right. Say you're Moriscos. Let that be your status. Instead of saying you're a black Christian, just say you're Morisco. That way you can be tied to Morocco over here from the status of a Christian Moor. And then that ends your tithes enslavement. Now you could fund your own stuff instead of giving everything to the Roman. Who? Oh yeah, we'll just do a double on this one. So some relative thing, something just came to my mind. Something just came to my mind. Just to put it out there, you know what I mean? Just because this is Noble Jwali. Don't forget, all this is Noble Jwali. All these people that we're talking about today, they were inspired by the Prophet and wrote something based on the inspiration they received from him. They put it in documentation. So nobody can say that, he didn't inspire anybody to do something. Now we're talking about Brother Messiah was talking about um, the Roman Catholic Church. So, all the more haters are not going to tell you about CMB and Clock of Destiny. So make sure you go do your research on CMB and Clock of Destiny. Like, do as much research as you can on him. Whatever books that you can get that he wrote, try get them. This is one of them, Clock of Destiny, Volume 1. And this is page 9. Rome and Khan. The term Rome implies the people who conquer by intrigue, force, and violence, and enslave the human mind through false doctrine of religious mystery and image or idol worship of various mystical god phrases, most common of which are Jehovah God, Christ, or Buddha. Let us remember that these United States of North America comprise every so-called race of the lily-white family. The term Khan implies the people who control the board of real estate, commerce, production, and distribution of the order of Roman colonization, which manifested with Wall Street in Amsterdam or New York, USA, and Java, East India, both of which are the headquarters of the nobles, dukes, lords, and duchesses of Rome and Cannes, the jury over the wealth and culture of the Moorish or Asiatic nation, our forefathers, who were defeated by the Roman conquerors after undergone some 364 years intermittent conflict from Patagonia to Alaska, Canada, and Greenland. Having been defeated by the Roman tribes of South America, they submitted themselves to Roman slavery under names such as Negro and Indian, which resulted in the loss of their birthright in 1774. Hey, that sounds real familiar to a date Noble Drew Ali used. But this is CMB. How come he's using this date and then Noble Drew Ali, who's before him, used this date of 1774 in the same context that Moors lost their birthright by being Negro black colored in 1774. Christian calendar, 5-year, which is equivalent to 1194 Moorish calendar. (1453) to 1492 Christian calendar is equivalent to 873, 912, 873 to 912 Moorish calendar year. The Roman conquerors added 580 years to the Moorish calendar. 1795 Christian calendar is equivalent to 1215 Moorish calendar. 1865, oh, another interesting date, no Drawley mentioned. CMB mentioned the same date. But, they CMB never, he wasn't down with Noble Drawley or whatever. The hell out of here. 1865, Christian calendar year is equivalent to 1285 Moorish calendar. 1946 is equivalent to 1366. 1946 and 1366 have cleared up the mystery of the 666. New York is the Empire State of the Order of Rome and Clan, the lily-white people of the world. Have you ever stopped to think that among the Asiatics of the USA, referred to as Negroes, there can be had a similarity of every so-called race of the entire world? That's CMB. Big time. Make sure you check CMB. Right? So back to Brother Messiah. So if you accept the teachings of Christianity, it does not change your pedigree prior to the colonists branding us Negro, black, and colored. We called ourselves Moors. You can have a belief in Jesus, Jehovah, Muhammad, or Buddha, all you want, but this has nothing to do with your pedigree or your nationality. Most of us are confused about nationality in the first place, which is why Asiatics are at the end of the race game. We think that black, white, and Latino are nationalities when they are not. In order for a nation to exist, there are 5 requirements that constitute a nation, which are as follows: national flag, national seal, geographical landmass, constitution, and people. Now one must ask himself, where is the black people's national flag? Where is the white people's national seal? How about the Latino Constitution? When the United Nations assemble, there is no black, white, or Latino nations present because they don't exist. They are not nations. They are misnomers that are used by Europeans to denationalize the true freeholders of the land. Once you are denationalized, you have no rights, which anyone is bound to respect, and this is the colonist's source of survival. He lives off our ignorance to national principles, consequently causing us to run to him when we are in economic distress. The divine and national principles of our forefathers, Prophet Noble Drew Ali has brought back to us Moors, of who forgot who we were, who we are. The Roman Catholic Church has kept us asleep for so long, we don't recognize our own culture. When we see it, and then we stray away from it because the slave master said so. Whew! So this is going to be a good read. Make sure you go support, right? Pick that one up. This one's out of print, but you know, if you really want it, you know, this is, this is Ali Muhammad Bey's book. Muhammad Bey, Moorish, the Moor. This book's out of print, but if you want it, you already know the email. Noble Drew Ali's incorporation document, citing his purpose to establish the faith of Islam in America, drawing his authority from the great Quran of Muhammad. Ali states further that his purpose was to consecrate missionaries in order to carry out this work. The ability to establish a religious organization based on and drawing its authority from the Quran was according to the treaties established between the Moors and the United States government. Noble Drew Ali was a great threat to the operation of America due to his uncovering this ancient and secret information. His work propelled the arch deceivers to have to completely reorder the framework of the laws and economics of the government in America and throughout the world in the 1930s. So remember, he's referring to as regards to reordering the framework of the laws and economics. Just do your research on the timelines of when all the so-called U.S. and Roman Catholic whatever founded stuff with regard to North America. And you'll see everything happen around the time that Noble Drew Ali was doing what he did, or a little while after, because of his immediate impact. When he said, "You're not Negro, black, colored," and millions of people start backing that up, these people have problems. They have serious problems. Like, they have very serious problems. If a million people start saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm not Negro. Forget the Negro book stuff. Instead of dying, how about burn some of those Negro books instead of dying? How about make a bonfire in the middle of the intersection, and just how these guys burn crosses or whatever, burn some of those Negro books. Not just that one, all the other ones that you got too. And have a big bonfire and get rid of it all. Because if you're not a moral Turk in America, you're a slave. Period. In layman's terms, if you don't have a nationality, you're a ward of the state. If you don't have a parent, you're a minor. and you don't want to be adult and people assuming you're a minor because it's not going to come out in your favor. Guaranteed it's not going to come out in your favor. So don't even play with it. Just know it's not going to come out in your favor. Right? Also have to big up big brother Ali Mel Bay. Once again, wash it out more. Wash it out more. Right? More. There's a wash it out more. A whole different story. But everything's relative because we're all Moors. And there's unity amongst Moors. That's why, I got Dr. Alim Bey's book to use as a reference. Because he's a Moor. Why would I use somebody else's stuff when I got more? Yeah, Buddhists are gonna go quote some European? No. They're quoting all their Buddhist guy who told the Buddhist guy who said they thought that Buddhist guy, and then they quote all those guys when they put out their stuff. They're not quoting no other sources than the fam, than the crew. They do business with somebody outside of the stuff. So this is what Dr. Alim had to say with regard to Noble Jew Ali. Note, it is stated in the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America, 101 teachings, that Prophet Noble Jew Ali was raised up on a Cherokee reservation in the state of North Carolina. Okay. So somebody comes like this, and his position, which is known, his position is known, right? It's known. His position is that he was born to Cherokees in North Carolina. Okay. Which would technically make him, quote unquote, black Indian. He looks like this. If he looks like this, right? And he was born to Cherokees. He was born to Cherokees and he looks like this. And Cherokees is the so-called Indian tribe. And then they have people called black Indians that they honor, write books about or whatever like that, talk about the black Indians. How come they don't talk about Noble Drew Ali? He's a black Indian. Oh, that's right. He corrected the status of the black Indian crap and said that they were Moors. That's why they don't talk about him in the black Indian circle. Because they can't talk about him because he's a Moor. He's outside the jurisdiction. So for them to talk about him after they accepted the fraud of being black Indians, after they accepted that fraud, they can't come talk about Moors. That's like one of these so-called, come from somewhere else because they've been to, some school or they went to see some black people somewhere. They come back and get thousands of dollars to write books about they saw black people in places. When people funding them know that none of these people are black people. Know that they're not black people. But then they claim that they're black. Okay, fine. Okay, so you're black. Yeah, and then there's people called black Indians. Okay. How come nobody's not talking about Noble Drew Ali, who's, if you want to play the fraud game, a black Indian? We're not talking about him. Oh. Well, it doesn't matter because we'll talk about him. So honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I mean, happy solar return. Because, he didn't go anywhere. He just went to the soul plane to do the work because the Moors are hard-headed, stick-necked people. They don't learn unless at the point of a sword. But it's all good. We got you, Holmes. We got you. It is stated in the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America, 101 Teachings, that Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Nabi Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, was raised up on a Cherokee reservation in the state of North Carolina. The Kohari, Choharie, so go check them out, remnants of the Cherokees, Tuscarawas, and Neusiok Indians, Neusiok, and Tuscarawas, that were not moved during the Trail of Tears, quote unquote. So maybe check that out. Reservation is location near the city of Clinton in county of Sampson in state of North Carolina. And then it says in brackets, see Dr. Ali Muhammad Bey. Interesting. Interesting that he put that in his book, but, you know, people are not saying that they're Moors. And they got Beys out here. Eliza Turner, Tonika, and John A. Drew Whitman played an important role in our heritage. They were a part of the landmark court case of free women and men, also referred to in law as free white persons, see Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition, who won back 68,883 acres of land in Louisiana. The court case, United States versus the heirs of Henry Turner Tonika, case 32, United States Appellate Court, in 1850, was an appeal to an earlier case won by the heirs of Henry Tonika Turner, called the heirs of Turner Tonika versus the United States, case 191 in 1848. Eliza Turner and John Drew Whitman's son, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, the royal regent of the Empire Washita de Dogdemonia, continued the massive works. In 1928, he went to the Pan American Conference held in Havana, Cuba. Secretary of State Hughes went down to represent the United States, and Noble Drew Ali went down to represent the Moors. At that conference, the mandate for the landmass of Greater Amexem, North Central and South Central America, misnomer as North-South Central Americas, was returned to the Moors. Noble Drew Ali knew what this meant and what the ramifications of this was and is. Now, just to firm up that position with regard to the mandate, Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first and true divine name of Africa, the dividing of the land between the Father and the Son, the dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion in Africa. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, they were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across the great Atlantis, even onto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. So he's telling us that our jurisdiction is North America and Mexico and Central and South and the adjoining islands is all our jurisdiction. Oh yeah, and across Great Atlantis before, across Great Atlantis before the earthquake that created the Atlantic Ocean, before the earthquake that created the Atlantic Ocean, also on that side of Amexem. Brody laid it all out for the Moors. Laid it all out. And these people playing games with people's birthright. When he laid it all out. And then just to put this one out there, we'll show some Europeans too. Peter Moon, make sure you go get some of his stuff, because all he talks about is Moors. Like he's he talks about Moors more than Moors. Good sized books too. Moors. All types of references of the Moors in his stuff. All types. Always. It's a theme. Talk about the Moors. You must mention the Moors. Next wrong. Jose Pimenta Bay. He sends Islam to the Moors. You know, gave him a little shout today for Juali Day. You know, the Moors. All the Moors know what's up when it's Juali Day. You know what I mean? The little Moors talking about, you know, today sucked. Today was live. It went down today. It went down. It went up. This is chapter 7. Conclusion. The significance of Noble Juali and the Moorish Science Temple movement. Oh, you never heard that one before, have you? All these guys always telling you about Moorish Science Temple like this is some whatever club in the corner. But how come this you know PhD, Jose Pimenta Bay, PhD, right, has a book where he's talking about the significance of Noble Juali and the Moorish Science Temple movement. So he's letting people know that this is bigger than, you know, he's PhD. So he's qualified to talk. Qualified. All right. Indeed, the MSTA has not followed the social norms. It has not followed the historic lead of some of the more socially acceptable, quote-unquote, mainstream organizations of the time, i.e. the NAACP. Instead, Prophet Juali emphasized greater self-knowledge and self-reliance among the African Americans, and his movement provided a specific national context, more, through which to acquire such knowledge. From the Moorish perspective, true self-reliance only comes with self-confidence, and self-confidence is rooted in one's awareness of their past achievements. Right? That right there solve all this ADD crap, riddling crap going on with brothers and whatever they're giving sisters as far as young children and young adults to get them on something other than what they're on. This right here. Forget all the go to this class, go to that, more science. Because this is for the nations. No matter your age. From the Moorish perspective, true self-reliance only comes with self-confidence. And self-confidence is rooted in one's awareness of their past achievements. We're going to show y'all. We're going to show. We're going to demonstrate more science as far as when youths get this, forget to wake up these people who's been behind the cart pushing carts. Little brother, sister on the side or whatever doing nothing, put them onto this. So they can go in the field, go get the horse and put the horse on the cart and tell people stop pushing stuff. We're going to demonstrate the power of moral science among young people. We're going to demonstrate. Just so people know. You already know we upload everything and all that. Just so people know. They want black schools and stuff like that. Forget black school crap, Afrocentric BS. You don't need none of that. Teach these children moral science. You teach them moral science, don't worry about what you want to do because it's irrelevant. Because they'll take over. And they can take over at 6 if they got moral science. They're not going to go do nothing crazy. They know better. They got profit. They got profit to write letters to for no withdrawal needed. We're going to give it to people this year. Trust me, no withdrawal is back. It's not even a joke right now. It's not even a joke right now. In short, a person or group must know about themselves, their significance, and their achievements if they are to become strong. Remember, PhD, all right? PhD, talking about morals. Find me another PhD to talk like this. They must honestly love themselves for the gifts given to them by the Creator God, brackets Allah. The quote-unquote Moorish identity represents one major aspect of the so-called quote-unquote black self, which serves as a beacon to a better understanding of both the group and the individual self. As this study has noted, the term Moor is arguably more historically and semantically correct than the terms Negro, Black, or Colored. Still, there are some valid criticisms which can be made about the movement. Simpson had criticized Temple members he interviewed in the 1940s for having a limited understanding of the organization's worldview, which means that he already had the info, right? So he has the info already about whatever, right? Uplifting, follow humanity, whatever, right? He got info. He goes to a Moor now, questioning them on the movement, and they don't know. And then now he has room to criticize. That's not on him for criticizing. Oh yeah, they're talking shit about the Moors. No, that's not what's going on. It's our problem. We're the idiots that don't know because, you know, they don't study. Like I said, there's Moors who don't leave their house, huh? Like I go do stuff. There's Moors who, they go hard when you say study. They have books piled up like this, studying, right? Because it's not real. People who aren't even down with this, studying like that. Just so that they could know. So that one day, hopefully one day, I'll bump into a Moor. And then I could actually have a conversation with somebody who's diverse nationality to me about all this stuff that I've been studying that I have nobody to tell about this who should know. Because they all want to be black, Negro, colored, and all this fake stuff. When we have all these books sitting there, we don't even know what to do with it. More comes, more gets all the books for free. And like that's real. Like that's really real. Or more. in Canaanland, a Moor, went to a university, reputable university out here, and they just gave him this stuff, like boxes upon boxes upon boxes of books, card, muffler, dragging so much books for free. University, just cause. More just asked the question, yo, you guys got any books around here? Right? It's 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 like for people not to get on this, like you have to laugh, just because it's not really that. You know what I mean? Like 12-year-old like gets this. You know what I mean? Um, Sister in grade 12 gets this. Writing papers for class, have teacher baffled. Like, nah, you gotta dumb this down. You gotta dumb this down because this is just too heavy. Nobody's gonna understand what you're talking about. He obviously knows though. He knows though. You know what I mean? And you can't give her perfect because don't forget the marks have to get registered. You know what I mean? And if they're Catholic, don't forget the Romans. You know what I mean? So the Romans got their little jurisdiction where our children are in there. And then our children are talking now about the Knights Templar stuff. But don't forget, they ain't burden nobody at those stake right now. They gotta accept the fact that it is the Aquarian age right now, and Noble Drew Ali did say that new Moors are gonna come with eyes wide open, seeing and knowing, and then prophecies manifested right now. They already know what's up. It's not even a secret for them. The only secret for us, the only secret, our people, wanna go dying before they just proclaim their nationality. Stop lying in the street. Like, what's wrong with people? Stop it. Based upon my own contemporary experience as a member, I would actually partly agree with him. Even today, I have found temple members who could not logically defend elementary organizational contentions. Such members would often refer only to line and verse from official literature, something which non-members simply cannot fully or properly relate to. Right? That's a dirty Moor tactic that got infused into the missionary work. That as soon as somebody that knows that they're Moor engages somebody who doesn't know that they're Moor, they're going to quote stuff from things that have nothing to do with this person's reference point of what a Moor is. Dirty Moors did that. Taught people that way. Taught people like that. That if somebody asks about Moor, you don't show them something that relates to them where they are so they can get what this is. You tell them something about this so that they go further away. Because first thing that's going to be, oh, they're trying to convert me to something. Immediately. That's where their mind's going to go. When that's not what this is. We have obligation to let these people know that they're not Negro black colored. If they don't do anything with it, that's on them. But we can't be in the position as Moors who know that say that, well, I asked him, he's a Moor, and he didn't tell me what you're telling me. It can't be that. It has to be whatever Moor they talk to, everything's relative. That's why, we have the brick wall, and we say, go on that side of the brick wall, you go and learn something. Don't go over here, all this other stuff over here. Go behind that brick wall, shut the gate behind you, and you stay over there if you want to study something about Moors. You got certain references. It's all references to the same stuff that we always keep putting out. It's not really new stuff. People just saying the same thing in a different way to capture different mindsets out there. Because all Moors view mental slavery from a different lens. And their lens is a good way on how to correct this thing. Because they have relative reference points. So in a PhD, right, with PhD is putting it on you like this. That more they ask more stuff, Morris don't even know basic stuff. They don't know basic stuff. Why? Because Noble Ali is pushed to the back. And more science temple is pushed to the front. Then more science whatever. And more and you gotta wait weeks, months or whatever before they tell you about Noble Ali. Bring him up. And if they do bring him up some half-ass stuff. Not repping him. Like how you're supposed to get rep. Such members, so remember, this is a dirty more tactic. So as soon as you as a new Moor, and then you go talk to a Moor, because you should be able to go to anybody with a turban and fez and learn something about your nationality and birthrights that's real, that you can apply in some way, shape, or form, right? Not some line from something. They have to demonstrate. They have to give you a, Moors call it a measure. They have to give you a measure, right? They have to hit you with something that you be thinking about that stuff all night. Like, yo, you really said what you just said? Nah, no way. That you wake up tomorrow thinking about that stuff. Like, yo, you really said that? I just go check this thing out. Like that, Moors are supposed to be hitting people. But like we're saying, such members would often refer only to line and verse from official literature, something which non-members simply cannot fully or properly relate to. But in all fairness, this would also be true of various mainstream groups and organizations. So remember, he's PhD. So he can't play how Moors, that aren't really tied to, institutions of learning, right? Can talk. Because, you know, this is the livelihood we're talking about. You're jeopardizing no livelihood for going overboard when there's no real need to go overboard, because there's more to go overboard already. So you can do the best that you did, right? And this is a must-have in the library. Forget all the other stuff, black books that you want to get. Get this. Get the Black Hebrew, forget all that stuff. Get this. This is some reading right here, right? As well, don't forget, you can go to you might want to write this one down and get this for yourself so you have it. Volume 31, number 27, April 7th, 2006. Volume 31, number 27, April 7th, 2006. Muslim Journal newspaper. Noble Ali, forerunner of the Nation of Islam. They didn't refute anything. Remember that this is Muslim Journal newspaper. So just call them up, email them, whatever. Let them know that you're looking for this. And you can have this to add to your slap them with stuff. Just so, they know. So you don't get gamed by these people trying to make you feel like you should diss the prophet. No dissing the prophet around here. Prophet's the man. He brought it. Right? Are you in denial of your ancestry? RV Bay. The history of the word more or more. Connection to Yahushua, Jesus. The word more is referenced by a host of ancient names and geographical boundaries, such as but not limited to Mauritania, Morocco, and Moab. The Moabite is referenced in the scriptures, modernly called the Bible, Biblios Heliotech, the record book of the Son of God. Ruth or Ruth, the Moabitess, was one of the most revered women in the scriptures. She was a Moabitess from the land of Moab. Moab, as described in the encyclopedia as being from now North Africa, has also been called Mauritania, Mitzrayim, and Mesopotamia. Ruth the Moabitess was the great-great-grandmother of Yehoshua, which is pronounced Yeshua, the contemporarily spelled Joshua, called today erroneously Jesus. Yeshua ben Yosef, Jesus, was a dark mahogany complexioned Moabite from the Moabite nation in the land of Moab. The Canaanites were also of the same lineage of the Moors. So Yeshua was from the Moabite Canaanite blood. Was he your brethren? Are you his brethren? From Columbia Encyclopedia, 2nd edition, 1950 to 56. Moab, nation inhabiting in ancient times the upland area east of the Dead Sea, now part of Jordan. The country cannot be protected from the east. Hence, its history is a chain of raids by the Bedouin, Bedouin. The Moabites were close kin to the Hebrews, and the language of the Moabite stone is practically the same as biblical Hebrew. The relations of Moab with Judah and Israel, especially under the house of Omri, are continually mentioned in the Bible. The Moabite religion was much like that of Canaan. Now let's look at some of the territorial, tribal, creed, and political names given to the descendants of the Moors. This is very important as you must know the ancient and historical names in order to properly comprehend the immeasurable influence and social economic impact made upon the entire world by the Moors. Almoravids, Almohades, Saracens, Turks, Muslims, Mohammedans, Islamics, Arabs, Berbers. These are some of the earlier names. Let's look at evidence. From the Columbia Encyclopedia, Moors, nomadic people of the northern shores of Africa, original inhabitants of Mauritania. They mixed with the successive conquerors and are now a dark-skinned race, chiefly of Berber and Arab blood. From Oxford Universal Dictionary, Moor, late Middle English, M-O-R-E, Moor, More, Latin Morus, Greek Mopus, possibly from some ancient North African word. In ancient history, a native of Mauritania, a region corresponding to parts of Morocco and Algeria. Later, one belonging to the people of mixed Berber and Arab race, Mohammedan in religion, who in the 8th century conquered Spain. As late as the 17th century, the Moors were supposed to be mostly black or very swarthy, though white Moors were known, and hence the word was often used for Negro. So yeah, let's just say it. The book of Negroes is really the book of Moors. We'll just put it out there. Just for these fakers. For the fakers, the book of Negroes is the book of Moors. But they won't tell you like that because, they want to keep you black, Negro, colored, in denial of Noble Drew Ali. Like, people are in denial that they're alcoholic and they got, the little metal thing in church or whatever. They're not alcoholic though, right? They're in denial. This is Truth About Your Birthrights, another R.V. Bay publication of Noble Drew Ali. About 9 decades have passed, 1913 AD plus, since Noble Drew Ali, Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, officially established and organized a functional and modern social and political forum which was oriented toward, conceived as, and visualized for awakening and activating the mentally enslaved, nationally dormant, and unconscious aboriginal descendants of the ancient Moabites, Moors of North America. This organization forum was structured to address and span the broad and general areas of misdirected social needs and spiritual concept corrections, and so the Moorish Divine and National Movement became a major institution for uplifting fallen humanity. How'd they do that? Right? Well, putting everything together, administrative functions, right? The Moorish Divine and National Movement, Old Canaanite Temple, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America, breaks down into schools for Moorish children, industry, businesses, press, newspapers. Young Businessmen's League, Women's Auxiliary, Moorish Community Development, Civics and Law Instruction, Communications, etc., and then take your place amongst the affairs of men. So keep in mind, right, the Moorish Divine and National Movement, Old Canaanite Temple, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America. Religious organization. When the religious organization was incorporated, that was a further jurisdiction of the religious organization. But none of this is void because of the incorporation of the religious organization. This religious organization that people say is incorporation now should still have these things coming from it. Schools, industry, businesses, press, newspapers, Young Men's Business League, Women's Auxiliary, Moorish Community Development, Civics and Law, and then there we are. Young people with this information going out there and redeeming themselves and their people, because our own sold out our people, and our own continue to sell out our people, and our people don't get it. They just keep getting sold out. But it's okay, because can't do nothing for you, man. You paid $6 for what? Who is Noble Drew Ali? You can find this more on Facebook. Heru Ranasi L. Just send him messages so you can get the book, you know what I mean, in honor of Noble Drew Ali Day and all that, if you don't have it. Who is Noble Drew Ali? Go cop this one. Heru Ranasi L. Without a nationality, it is impossible to unite. African Americans, by Shadowbrand stamp, have no central point through which they can unify. You need more than the red, black, and green flag given to Negroes by Marcus Garvey as an attempt to give a nationless people a flag. The red, black, and green flag was the flag of the Ansars in Sudan under Mohammed Ahmed al-Mahdi. Mohammed Ahmed, A-H-M-A-D, Al-A-L, Mahdi, M-A-H-D-I. However, the colors were black, red, and green. Garvey learned of this flag from Dus Muhammad Ali, a Moor of Sudanese Egyptian birth. Garvey knew that Moors needed a sense of nationalism, and he gave our people what he could with the information that he had. It was Drew Ali's job to take our knowledge a little further. Was Drew Ali the only leader to bring our people something of substance? No. However, his works cannot be denied. Look at the people all over the world who are faced with neocolonialism, which is a politically correct term for European globalism, and notice very closely how it seems to take no effort for them to unify in the face of a common oppressor. They band together based off of the love they have for one another and shared history that expresses itself through common dress codes, morals, mannerisms, spiritual systems, which brings us to a divine creed, languages, a constitution, etc. These are all a part and parcel of a nationality. You do not have a culture without these elements. Thus, there is no culture without a nationality. Divine creed infers those spiritual principles of one's forefathers. The chief way that Moors were enslaved in the Americas was to use their own spiritual beliefs against them. Europeanized, Romanized Christianity was a political system devised to control the mind and soul of the Moor. However, the irony of the whole situation was the fact that Jesus was a brown-skinned, woolly-haired brother of the Moors. The Bibles that the Moors were given had pictures of Caucasians from beginning to end. Drew Ali gave the Moors the divine link to their forefathers' systems, which were culminated or reached their climax in the ancient Egyptian mystery system. Prophet Noble Drew Ali called the continuation of the Egyptian school, the Egyptian mystery system, Islamism. This had nothing to do with Orthodox Islam, which was designed for the salvation of the original people of Arabia, who were also of Moorish descent, Cushite Abyssinian. Islamism was Drew Ali's system of linking the Moors back to that old-time religion, which is to say science, because Moorish people dealt with spiritual sciences, not organized religion. All those religious Moors, pray, clap Moors. Historically speaking, the Moors were the custodians of the Egyptian mysteries. According to Stolen Legacy, 1954 by George J.M. James, page 38, we find the abolition of the Egyptian mysteries was to create an opportunity for the adoption of Christianity. This was the problem. The Roman government felt that Egypt was now conquered in arms and reduced to her knees. But in order to make the conquest complete, it would be necessary to abolish the mysteries, which still controlled the religious mind of the ancient world. This new religion, which would take place of the mysteries, must be equally powerful and universal, and consequently, everything possible must be done in order to promote its interest. This explains the rapid growth of Christianity following the Justinian Edict of Toleration. The Justinian Edict of Toleration. This is in line with Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teachings in the 1920s. In our Holy Quran, Circle 7, ours because the Prophet is our Prophet, not just the Moorish Science Temple organization's Prophet. In chapter 48, verse 6 and 7, we read, We, as a clean and pure nation, descended from the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers were the founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared for their forefathers for their earthly salvation. So that's for all the Christian Moors, who want to be Moriscos. Sorry, can't be Moriscos. To claim your nationality, get back to your ancient foremothers stuff because Drew Ali told you cast away that Christian crap that you have. Because that's not your stuff. We have higher stuff than that. But if you don't want to accept it or whatever, then you be Morisco. Stop calling yourself black Christians and all that stuff. Just be Morisco. So at least we can, kind of bring you into the fold and try to help you get out of whatever it is that you're doing. Because we can't help our people if they want to stay black. It's nothing personal against our people. But as Moors, we know that somebody who classifies themselves as a slave is going to get me lynched with them. And it's not about me getting no lynched by nothing. Right? One, you're not getting lynched by anybody because Raleigh already dealt with that. Laid it down for them once. So you don't have to be confused. In 2 weeks, I'm going down south. When I get down there, the Ku Klux Klan is going to stop me. At first, it's going to look like they're against me. Then, they're going to lead me to where I'm going. Because we're Moors. We taught those clowns. We're not lynching nobody around here. They play games right now because they got their dumb mercenaries, that don't know the law to do their dirty work. You know what I mean? But that's not going to last forever. Law of retribution, trust me, it's not going to last forever. They're going to get theirs. Guaranteed they're going to get theirs. They're already getting theirs right now. They're just not talking about it. They're just not talking about it. But believe me, they're getting theirs. You can't even hide. Another, two here. Also, Moorish Paradigm, Big Bro Hakeem Bey, another one of the, prophet up front. You don't see his picture on the front of nothing or whatever like that. Repping the prophet. Why? Because you know what he brought. You're not confused about what he brought. You know what he brought. The divine and national government, two governments well involved in one. The reason the Prophet named this movement the Moorish Divine and National Movement is because it is a movement designed to restore us within our own divine government and thence within the national government of the United States of America. By establishing our divine birthrights and government, he also established our rights as Moorish American national citizens. Thus, our movement teaches us how to function in two spheres of activity: the divine sphere, represented by the eye and the pyramid on the dollar bill, and the national sphere, represented by the eagle. At the head of the national government is the president, followed by the vice president. At the head of the divine side is Allah, then the prophet, followed by the supreme grand sheikh and chairman of the Moorish Science Temple. Divine and national relates to the separation of church and state, thus the two seals. The reason our side is called divine is because it is headed by Allah, and we have a divine constitution. The national government has a secular constitution, creating republican form of government. Thus we are a nation within a nation. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a divine nation functioning within a national government structure. The purpose of the Prophet's divine and national movement was to make us a nation within this nation by restoring us all that was taken from us. This was one of the toughest jobs and greatest feats ever to be attempted. What the Prophet did was no college education, shows that he was not guided by the opinions and ideas of men, but that he was in fact divinely guided. To do this, the Prophet had to execute his plan in degrees and in stages. In the Moorish Leader's Historical Message to America, the Prophet lays out the degrees and stages he took the movement through in order to achieve his aim. And then just, again, you can go get the stuff. Any more Science Temple, they should have it. If not, just Google it because, information's at our fingertips. Moorish Leaders Historical Message to America. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Just read that. You'll get some. Trust me. Trust me, you'll get some. Here we ran a CL once again. No more do. Hold back. A flag above any other. Just go look him up. That's his Facebook name right there. Here we ran a CL. And go support more of that doing something out here. Try to fix this mess. In the territory of Atlanta, in the corporate jurisdiction of the state of Georgia, the downtown area is called 5 Points. Atlanta is named after a Canaanite Phoenician Moorish warrior goddess named Atalanta, meaning balanced. At the intersection of Peachtree and Marietta Streets, there is a park with a statue erected of the warrior goddess Atalanta, located at 5 Points, which is the pentagram. In Phoenician Moabite Canaanite mythology, Atalanta's father was Isis, Phoenician for Jesus, and was so deeply depressed at her birth because he wanted a son, abandoned her on a mountaintop. The city of Atlanta sits on a mountain and is situated so that anywhere you approach the city from any of the 4 cardinal directions, the city can be seen elevated on the mountaintop. Historically, the mountain has always symbolized the breast or the mammary gland, the organ of the universal Ma, known to babies globally as mama. To our Moorish ancient fathers, the pentagram also symbolized the 5 motions of direction: forward, backward, left, right, and above. These motions of direction had the stellar mathematic correlations to the 5 heavenly bodies of Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Venus, the queen of the heavens. I was putting it out there, yo. So we'll just go over a couple more of Drew Ali's strong words that were said so long ago but are relative today. So with regards to Moors just finding out about Noble Drew Ali and, finding out now. It will take you 50 years to find out what I brought you. And if you are not careful, 50 years after I am gone, you won't know that I have been here. So that's putting the obligation on the Moors once again to make sure that they're doing what they can to uplift the Prophet and help him in the missionary work. When I raise my floodgate, it's going to take 16 secretaries to write down the names. I have the world in a jug and the stopper in my hand. I have the Asiatic and I have the European. I have the gold and I have the silver. The climate is going to change. The cold weather will be in the south, and the warm weather will be in the north. Well, this one's kind of, you know, but we know definitely there's some cold weather in the south, you know, snowing in certain places that hasn't had snow for 80 years or whatever. You know something's up. It's still, you know, it got minus 27 or something today, so the cold is still out here for right now. But half that prophecy definitely manifested, right? The Moors once ruled the world now. Oh, the Moors once ruled the world. Now get ready to rule it again, but this time it's going to be done under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I have come for the children and the unborn generations. Brothers, don't mark your friends. It shows you are free. If you dream of me, it's like seeing me for true, because the devil cannot steal my appearance. So all you people who dreamt about the prophet, you know, whether you just saw the tassel just pass before it went around the corner, or, you know, you sat down, you all chilled and built and, you know what I mean, whatever. Regardless, how big or how small. You saw the prophet, that was him for real. Yeah, no, we're not talking about, you know, some spooky whatever. Like, if you dream about Noble Drew Ali, you dreamt about him for real. If it's hard to believe, then, you know, you get your faith up in the prophet. But he's telling you, if you dream of him, it's for real. Find me one other of these leaders out here that drop something like that on you about themselves. You can't make up stuff like that. You gotta just, hey, you know what? I think to rope them in, I'll tell them that if they dream about me, no way. I ain't buying that. No way. He knew what was up. He knew exactly what was up. And he laid it all out for his Moors who are faithful to him. That's why he said to be read at every meeting, and nobody want to read. So he put it all out there. Islam. I'm glad to know that I have a faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people on our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvations as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me, so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and the uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase your faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the last few years. Letter 2 to be read every meeting. That these guys never read. I don't know why. Maybe because they're dirty. That's why. That's why. I hereby inform all members that they must put an end to all radical and agitating speeches while on their jobs, homes, or on the public streets. We advocate peace and not destruction. Stop trying out your cards with the Europeans, for it causes confusion. There has been much confusion caused by members trying out their cards. The, right, also too, members trying out their cards. Members trying out their cards. Members. members trying to think that, yeah, we'll just give this organizational card and identity, but no picture on there, nothing like that. You're causing confusion because everybody else that has ID card on there got a picture on it. Where you going with that stuff? Because you already told them more. His card's going to change in your pocket. If the card's going to change, that means it's getting enhanced. It's going to be better. Right? So stop trying out the cards, members. Have a national mindset. Then try out your card. And I bet you it'll work. And he wouldn't cause confusion anymore. The cards are for your salvation. Failure of obeying my orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members that seek to hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or to violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet, and if they lose confidence in their prophet, give up your card and button, cease wearing your turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. For this is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Juali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet is sending out a divine plea to all true Moorish Americans that they may do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Islam. So that was our Noble Juali solar return class. You know that you learned something about the prophet because we give all these references. We're going to give all the references again so people can't say we didn't tell you where to get stuff. Verify, you know what I mean? What more we're talking about. We're not just flapping. Go check. So, Moorish Paradigm. Those are the book. This is the book series. This is master issue number 13. But you could start at number 1 to 13. There's a brother Hakeem Bey. If you never heard about him, make sure you Google him, YouTube search him, Facebook search him, whatever. Get hold of them more. Get yourself some information, some good information to help you figure out what Noble Drew Ali left for you. Because like we said, Moors, we do not play straight. We stick to home. So when you're confused about something, it's probably because you listen to some crazy people out there who don't know what the hell they're talking about. PhD, Jose Pimenta Bay, Othello's Children in the New World. You need this. Should have this. If you don't have it, pick it up. Support your learning. Support your children's learning. Because trust me, they need it. It's not a joke out here. Are you in denial of your ancestry? Just go to the website rvbaypublications.com and, get your mind blown in a good way. Are you in denial of your ancestry? Dr. Alim El Bey. Also, let's get it on the record. BA, ADD, DD, RMT, GS, GHP, PR. So he's got his credentials. Can't say that he, didn't get the good European education so the prophet could use him. And you already know, YouTube search him, Alim El Bey, Google him, support. That's the one. What we're going to do. They're going to tell you that this is out of print. Don't let them fool you. Go bother him. Ali Muhammad Bey, and then just make sure you call him Ali Muhammad Bey when you talk to him. And tell him that you want his book, Reparations Equal War, that he has to reprint it or whatever. And if that doesn't work, you already know, Canaanland, bootleg everybody's stuff. Because we're not getting rich off nothing out here. This is people's info, we're just getting it to them. So, you know, Hidden Colors, all those ones, yeah, we bootleg those, give them away for free, just because. We're bootlegging. You don't like bootlegging? It's okay. We're not selling. We're just bootlegging. Who are the Moors? Grand Chief Messiah, Azizel, Holy Moorish Emporium. Make sure you support. Go get the books. New books just came out. So it's a good read. You know what I mean? Grand Chief Messiah has been holding it down, holding it up. Clock of Destiny, CM Bay. Get his credentials out there. CM Bay, PhD, LLD, third, 33rd, 360-degree Master Mason, Free Moorish Master Astrologer, Moorish Constitution Lawgiver. Take some of that. Where's the Negroes get them credentials? Clock of Destiny, CM Bay. So make sure you get this too. Get them, it's out there. Moorish Jewels, Rami Salam El. I am hhtemple.org, and also khalifamedia.com. Moorish Jewels. This is new as well. So it's probably maybe some weeks or a month, 2 months tops. So make sure you support that one. Moorish Jewels, good read. Especially for new Moors looking for some direction. It's real simple, nothing crazy. Real simple. Once again, Brother Heru Rani CL, a flag above any other. Make sure you get this, because should have this, just because it's some more talking about your flag and your prophet, nothing else. I'm not putting all this stuff, and try to get you. No. Who is Noble Juali? Same author again, Heru Rani CL. There he is, the mastermind behind the whole thing. Put this thing together. You know what I mean? Gave us back our birthright. Free, no selling. Truth about your birthrights. Once again, RV Bay Publications. Just go on that site. Go get your brain fried. No drugs needed. Come up with a new brain after you leave RV Bay. You kill your old brain and grow a new brain. Administrative functions. Once again, RV Bay. Because we don't hold back stuff. Put it out there. Oh yeah, you know what? Also, Brother Messiah has another book, Constitutional Law Explained. Go check that one too. Holy Moorish Emporium, once again. The Constitutional Law book. And their Brother Dolo's book. Great Seal Records presents Jesus of the Hood. The Brother Dolo story. Crazy stories. Crazy stories. But once you put the prophet up front, everything becomes an experience that you can learn from. Oh yeah, don't forget, Muslim Journal, where they beat up on the NOI. They beat up on the NOI that they came out of our stuff. And of course, Quran. But this is the Nuwapian version that's probably out of print. Those sellouts stopped everything that was coming out. You can't do nothing because somebody's arrested or whatever, so you can go to Khalifa Media and get your Holy Quran from there. Khalifa Media Go get your Quran. And this is 1926 Quran that we found on eBay. Somebody was selling. You know what I mean? That's how the Prophet does the stuff. So we want to say Islam to all the Moors. Appreciate y'all for all the support. You know what I'm saying? Continual support. Remember, this weekend is going down in Canaanland. We got Saturday at the temple. We got Seth and Rabbe, real something something. You know, keep it. You know, not kill too much. Be easy. Saturday, and we got Grand Chief Nature going in. Noble Juali. You know what I mean? So that's Saturday, 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock at the temple. You already know how it goes. You already know how it goes. Juali Day. Juali Day celebration week, Juali month, whatever. We're going to rep him hard because he did it. And then Sunday, we got Seth and Robbie again. You know what I mean? When the more comes out here, does what you got to do for the fam. I mean, no naming lights. You know, no bottles of Ciroc and, you know, clean underwear and hotel room spa stuff. Right? None of that. And also too, Brother Denham L, I mean, aka Professor Iself, the God, the Moor, the master teacher, doing a Skype lecture. That's on Sunday at Don Montgomery Community Center, which is at Kennedy and Midland. And we're going to be using a youth group space that we're hunting all over the place, try to get space. You know what I mean? Everybody punking the Moors off like, you know, no, well, we can't have a religious thing there, and um, the book of the whatever says, you know, or, um, well, you know, we got new fees now, so, you know, it's, let me see, 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Last year we charged you 200. This year 600. And then got a hold of, once again, sister, young sister, works there, sent her an email. This is what we want to do. Plan that we have. Oh wow, that's great. Community needs this. We got some space for you to use. Oh, sorry, you know, we can't, we double booked or whatever, but you know, we want to make this happen, so we're gonna, you know, second time that happened. That people made the stuff happen. Made it happen. It wasn't supposed to happen, and people stepped in and made stuff happen just because. You know what I mean? Draw these back. So Islam, to all the more, worldwide. Just know, yeah, we're gonna upload the stuff. You know what I mean? We're not streaming because you can only do so much with one laptop and one camera. So just know that we'll be uploading. We'll be uploading sometime next week. We'll be uploading. So we'll just close out with the prayer and keep the Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the Medi until, you know, we have daybreak. For now, you know what I mean? Just give him the honors all night. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam. Oh yeah, and forgot to tell you, all those people who got questions, we're gonna do one better. We're gonna let Seth and Rabbe answer your questions. So if you got questions for the Moors, you got Grand Chief Nature that can answer questions. We got Brother Denamel that can answer questions, and we got Brother Seth and Robbie that could answer questions this weekend. So if you got some questions, Canaanland guide, and we're going to take the good questions. The questions that, we don't really, the questions that are, whatever, we'll take those questions. We're going to send those questions to Khalifa Media because Khalifa Media is working on, something, question book stuff. So whatever we don't answer at the events this weekend, we're going to send those to Khalifa Media and they're going to deal with those other questions. All right? So Islam to all the Moors, peace, love, and hotep. And we'll definitely see y'all next week with Blog Talk Radio. And don't forget the 15th, next week, Sons of Allah on Blog Talk Radio. Next week, Thursday, will be third Thursday, Blog Talk. Mizraim L, Kudro L, going on something. Islam Moors, all the Moors online in the chat, Islam, and all the Moors worldwide, active, passive, and dirty Moors. Love you too. Peace, love, and hotep.